Hello, everyone. Have you ever felt where you've been feeling a bit lost, that you've been a little bit depressed, that you've gone through a tremendous loss in your life, that you are really searching towards the other side, right? You're looking for that transition and you kind of stuck in the middle. Well, those are the things we're going to talk about tonight. I'm Cece Schatz, and you're listening to Going Solo with Cece on WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. We're a radio, TV, and a podcast station. We're the number one internet singles talk network. I am the doyen of relationship building. And what you ask yourself is, what the heck is a doyen? I'm the leader in my field with regards to helping you through that transition of life. We kind of move through relationship loss. And sometimes we get stuck there, don't we? So, what I do is I connect you with wonderful people. I'm also a coach and I help you move to the other side. But it's not so easy. And that's what our topic is going to be tonight. Just want to mention that goingsolomedia.com right above here is our website. Please join us there for our live streaming 24/7 shows. And we hope that you enjoy that. But let's move on to our topic because it's very important and it's pretty jam-packed tonight. We're going to talk about midlife relationship loss, divorce recovery, but also we're going to talk about that transition, that even though we feel like we've made that transition of relationship loss, we're moving through to the next part of our life, there's still something nagging at us. There's still something that kind of holds us back. And sometimes I feel that it's that expectation of what we thought our life was going to be. And when we look at our lives now, we think, oh gosh, it's certainly not what I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to have a partner in my life. I thought I was going to be in the rocking chair. We were going to be, living happily ever after. I thought I was going to have a great job. I thought I was going to make a lot of money. I thought. Well, the reality is of life is that you are where you're at. And so what we're going to try to do is help you make that transition through. So sometimes it's actually having to give up, right? You have to kind of let go of what your expectations of life was or what you thought maybe they would be and start carving out this new reality for yourself. But we're going to talk a little bit about moving through that because some are really stuck in that loss part. They're feeling, and it could be your job, it could be a relationship with somebody, it could just be going through something thinking, I can't believe that I'm in midlife and this is where I am, right? And so what we're going to talk about is the grief that we have to experience to move forward, right? That's one of the parts of what we're going to talk about tonight. But, how long does it take for you to get over this feeling that you have, move through it? There's no time limit. And it's really of you, of where you're feeling, where you're going, and what you're thinking to be able to do it. There's no crash course. There's no, often I always often say this is like 3 steps forward, and maybe 4 steps back. So it's like you'll take a step, then it's another 2 steps back. And you just kind of do that dance of going back and forth in life, trying to kind of find your way again. But often our family, our friends, they don't really understand what we're going through. They don't get what we're going through. And so it's really hard to be able to kind of understand where you're at. So here, let's talk about it for a minute. We have an unrealistic expectation of life itself, don't we? We kind of feel like in our minds the way certain things are supposed to be, and they're not kind of going out like you think they were, right? You kind of have roadblocks, you have bumps in the road, but sometimes it's those roadblocks, sometimes those bumps that makes us stop and think a minute about our life and where we truly want to be. We take stock of ourselves personally, of what is expected of us from ourselves, right? We have that little voice within our heads. And so let's talk a little bit about grief and the steps that you can take, because there's no straight line to any kind of recovery from any kind of loss, whether it be a job, whether it be a relationship, whether it be a family member, whether it be just anything of what your expectations in life might have been. So there's no straight line to it. And there's always a sense of a grief and recovery that we have to experience. We go through the 5 steps of grief are denial, anger, bargaining, letting go and acceptance. Those are the 5 steps of grief, and you don't do them in any particular order. You do them according to what you feel. And so that's what makes it kind of hard, is because you think, okay, I've got this roadmap to be able to heal. I've got this roadmap to be able to move forward in my life. But the reality is that it doesn't always happen like that. We've got a comment here. So we want to say, okay. Hello, Gabriella. How are you? Oh, I haven't seen you in a while. You're so beautiful. You truly are. Oh, thank you so much. It's nice to know that you have missed me. I have been offline doing a lot of other things, but I am behind the scenes a lot of the shows that we have. So just so that you know, and I do take care of my dad, so that I have a lot of energy in that. But let's talk about that, because I know I experienced it myself. I experienced what I thought my life was going to be at my particular age, and where I am now, it totally is the opposite of what I thought it was going to be. So we're going to talk about those steps of denial. We're going to talk about being able to get through that. And that's very crucial to be able to do that. So denial, anger, bargaining, letting go, and acceptance. Those are the 5 steps of grief that you have to experience on anything that you do, whether it's a job loss, whether it's a relationship loss, whether it's your expectations of life itself. Sometimes we have to let go of those expectations. We have to understand where we're at, and we have to get angry about life itself, and how are we going to make a change in our life. So let's talk about just briefly some of those things, because I know I've talked about those in other shows, so you could probably go back and get that again. But if you're new to listening to me, we'll talk about them just really quickly, the 5 steps. So denial is when you just say, you know what, often we're staying in a bad relationship, or we stay in a bad job, and we don't really want to get out of it because we keep saying things will get better, things will get better. Well, reality is you've already acknowledged the fact that things are wrong, right? Things are not good for you. And so you're in that stage of denial. You don't want to face up to a change that's going to happen, or a shift, as we often say, a shift that's going to happen in your life. So we sit back and we just try to pretend it's not happening to us. But then what happens is somebody makes a choice that we didn't decide. And then here we are trying to figure out what it is that we're going to do and how we're going to pick ourselves up. And that makes us doggone mad, doesn't it? We get angry over that. We get angry over the situation that we're in. We get angry over the people that are in our lives that are maybe letting us down. We get angry over ourselves because we have put ourselves in this kind of position, or we have not moved when we should have maybe moved. We haven't shifted when we were supposed to shift. So we get mad. We just get mad at life itself. And so we have to experience those feelings in order to make that transition. So then we start bargaining with ourselves. We start saying, you know what? How many, anybody's ever prayed and said, God, if you do this for me, I'll do this. If you let this happen for me, I'll do this. We do that to ourselves too. We say, you know what? I'll put up with this bad relationship. I'll put up with the boss yelling at me. I'll put up with not being treated properly. I'll put up with those things because I want something better. Or how many times have you heard families stay in relationships because of the kids, right? They're bargaining. They're saying, I'm in this for the kids. I'm in this for the kids. But the reality is it's dragging you down so much that you're not being able to really be the true you, the authentic person that you are. So then we have to let it go. We have to say, you know what, whatever this is, wherever we are, we are. And that's the point. And so we have to let go some of those things. We have to stop letting fear get in our way, creating a boundary for us, creating something. So often I hear people say, well, you know what, I'm going to step back. I'm going to create, I've got a line in sand here. I'm not going to do whatever. We haven't let go because you allowed yourself to be able to put parameters on you, as we call boundaries, which some boundaries are good. They keep you safe. They let you take the steps that you need to take when you need to take them. But some boundaries are strangling. They stifle you. They don't allow you to think beyond it. So we have to let go of sometimes our thinking. You ever heard of that term, stinking thinking, right? Stinking thinking. So you have to let go of some of that to be able to move forward in life. You have to be able to walk past the fear, just step over the fear a little bit to be able to embrace life the way it is. And then again, it's the acceptance. We have to accept the fact that our life is shifting, and we don't necessarily like that. I think most human beings do not like shift in their life. They do not like that to happen. Hey, so it's nice to see you. So thank you. Thank you for coming in here and watching us. We appreciate it. So we have to allow ourselves to be able to shift in life. And so we have to be able to accept the shifts that are happening to us. We can control a lot of things, but some things we cannot. They're out of our control. So we have to accept those that we can't change or that we can't control, and then we have to kind of work around, many good relationships out there. And I know a lot of married people are listening to our shows now because they're good, healthy shows. They help you to really dig deep within your own life and help you really establish your own relationship within yourself so you can be a better partner, so that you can, if you're thinking about dating, so you can go out and date, you can be someone worthy of the best, right? And that's what we want to have. And so when we're going through this midlife stuff that's happening to us, it's not the end of the world. We'll be able to step over that. We'll be able to move forward. And that's really what it's all about. So let's move on with that. The number one thing you have to do in order to make a transition into your life, make that shift that's happening into your life, is you have to decide to get better, right? You have to decide that the world is better out there, that it's not so bad, that all the things you're hearing on television, put it aside, and things that you cannot change or control, just sweep them under the rug or whatever you have to do, but move through those. You have to decide that, hey, I'm going to be better today. My life is going to be good today. I want to get out of that camp misery, right? I'm not going to turn the TV off. I'm not going to listen to the negative things on TV because I can't change them. I can't change, God forbid, those that are getting the virus, but I can protect myself. I can wear a mask. I can do whatever I need to do to be able to protect myself, protect those that I love. I can, take ownership of myself. I can start to decide to get better, to make my life better. And that's the very first thing that you need to do. Once you travel through that grief. Oh, I'm sorry, I hit my microphone. So I hope you guys can hear that. So the next thing, I've got some more practical steps for you here. Take care of yourself physically. Often we let ourselves go, and I'm the world's worst on this. So, everything I say to you today, believe me, I have been through it all. I've experienced it all, and then I've experienced it again, because sometimes we don't learn from the first journeys in life, right? We have to kind of go back and experience them again. And so take care of yourself physically. Really, take care of your health, take care of your diet, eat clean products, drink healthy liquids. And I'm the worst. I'm like a Diet Coke fanatic. I'm the worst at it, but try to do it, right? Try to create that shift. And every time you do something that's positive, just try to do that again, right? And the more you do it, the more it becomes a habit to you, right? So you want to walk, if you can walk, run, exercise, do something, get out in the fresh air a little bit and enjoy. Here's the number two thing, which I thought was very, very good, was smile. How often do you smile? When you smile, it really does something not only to other people that you smile, but it also changes your whole outlook of what you've experienced, right? So when you smile, things don't become, they're not so serious, right? So you just want to kind of keep a smile on your face, kind of keep a laughter in your voice, and try to keep moving through, right? Just keep moving through things. The next thing, of course, I said, is move forward, but you want to move forward at your own pace. You don't want to do something that you feel is not comfortable for you. You want to be able to step forward in your life. And so when we have these crises, and I think we have several crises within our lives, when we're going from teenagers to adults, I think we have a crisis that we kind of go through, a mental thing that we experience there. Then when we have our families, we start going through a little bit of a crisis there. How are we going to take care, provide, all of those things? There's certain elements that happen within our lives that we do have some sort of crisis. Midlife crisis is tremendous, because that is where things have shifted completely, and your children are gone off to college, or they're moved out of the house, or doing whatever. You find yourself alone. Often you find yourself alone with a stranger because your parameters of life have shifted. You, maybe the woman was taking care of the children. And I'm not saying this always, because it doesn't always work like that, but maybe your life was centered around the children where his was centered around work. And now you're together and you're retiring. It's like, okay, who are you? And what are we supposed to do? Right. So we're in this midlife crisis, or I don't know who you are. And so I just want my freedom. I don't want to take care of you. I don't want to do those kind of things. Or you can't agree on certain things anymore because your lives have shifted. Your personalities have shifted. What you value in life and what you think in life has shifted. So those are the reasons why divorce starts happening, is that created something over time. And I will tell you that I just read something here. Actually, I've read it several times, but where the divorce rate is actually going down and people are staying together more. However, the divorce rate for 50 and over is going up. And that is happening a lot, and that's making us starting to wonder, what about that shift in life, that gratification that we have from for ourselves? Have we let ourselves go and not focused on ourselves, and then all of a sudden we find ourselves older and have the time to focus on ourselves, and we don't know what our passions are. We don't know what we want to do. So if you guys are interested in passions, we're going to be talking about that on the Chicks Passion Show, which is at 9 o'clock here. But so often that happens. And so what we want to do is we want to move forward in our own pace. We want to find things that we can do. We want to be able to start getting the joy back in our lives. We want to start figuring out what it is that makes us happy. We want to start making connections with other people and moving forward in that. So I just want to make sure that I'm okay here on everything, because I've got my notes up online. So let's go on to the next one. Simplify your life as much as possible. Well, you're going to hear about on the Chicks Passion that I'm so different in that, the far less of simplifying your life. But when you're going through some sort of loss in your life, when you're going through that transition, and you're trying to figure out what you want to do, what is your next step, right? What's the next step? Going solo, next step. What is that? Being single, what is that next step? Well, you want to simplify your life. You want to start cutting back some of the things that really drain you. You know, you want to, you know, if you're not working, get a job that maybe would make you feel happier. Really start making things a lot easier for yourself. If you need to eat out, eat out. If you need to just sleep in a little bit, sleep in. If you want to just take the day off and not clean or mow the lawn, do it. Make your life as simple as possible. Hit the pause button on some of your obligations. So often, and I'm the world's worst on this, I remember my ex-husband asked me, what is the worst thing about yourself that you could describe? What's the worst thing? And I said, it's hard for me to say no. It's hard for me to say, no, I can't do this meeting. No, I can't do that. And I was very active in several associations, doing a lot of things. And then my children, and I was single, and I was going 100 miles an hour all the time. And I found it hard to say no. And so I think that is something I think we all do. We all can kind of say, hey, raise my hand to that one. So put the pause button on some of your obligations. Are they truly important? Do you really have to do that? Can you sit back a little bit? Can you have some quiet time? Can you meditate? Those kind of things. Hit the pause button on relationships that are not helping you move forward. That's, I think, a hard thing to do, especially when you have family, things like that, in people in your life that maybe be a little sour. They don't understand all that you're going through. They 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 haven't lived your life, right? They love you for who you are, and they love you for who maybe you were, but they don't know who you're going to be. And so those that can't uplift you, that don't bring you something that embodies you, and that's negative towards you, try to move away from them. Try to, hit the pause button on them. I'm not saying don't love them, don't see them. I'm just saying just surround yourself with uplifting people, someone that's going to take you through life in the direction that you maybe want to go into. And so you'll be sorting that out as you process everything. So the next thing is avoid numbing yourself with drugs, alcohol, shopping, ladies, and constant activity. I had a friend that told me a long time ago she was so busy. She was doing dancing classes and she was doing this and that, and on Facebook she looked like, oh my gosh, she looked like she had the best life. And I was thinking, wow, she's doing really great on her recovery from her relationship. She's moving forward and she's going out and dating. She's doing all kinds of things. And so we had a little chat, a little catching up and stuff. And she confided in me and said, you know what? I am so lonely. I just fill every space in my life with activity. And I said, well, you can't catch your breath. When we keep ourselves so busy, when we've lost something, when we're hurting, when we don't want other people to really know how hard it is for us, we'll fill every little spot up. But that's exhausting, and you never move forward when that happens. All you do is fill the space that you're in. So you want to be very, very careful with that constant activity. You want to be very careful with alcohol. I will tell you that I drink a little wine here and there. Now I hardly drink at all, but when I was going through my relationship loss, I started drinking and I found that I had a little wine. It made me feel a little better. And then I have a little bit more. And then one day I realized I'm opening up the second bottle of wine. And then I thought to myself, how many times have I done this? And I realized that, you know what, this could become a very bad habit very fast. And it's not solving anything. It's just creating a whole nother set of problems. And so I quit drinking altogether then. And now I only drink when, I just want to have a nice glass of wine with someone or relax or something like that. I don't drink very often, but it can get away from you so quickly that you don't have any idea. Often when those are traveling through the transition of relationship loss or through depression and things like that, they're prescribed medications. Be very careful with those medications. I know that the doctors have all good intentions, but that can get away from you very, very quick too. And then your body becomes chemically dependent upon it, as in the alcohol. So you want to be very careful with those kind of things. Always ask yourself, whatever I'm doing, is that really going to make me feel better? Is it really going to move me through it to the next level? Is it really going to change my life? And I hate to use shade, but shift. Is it going to shift my life somewhere? And where would it shift your life? So then you know if it's really good for you or not. And then, of course, we talked about find supportive people who let you be yourself through the process. How many times have you talked to somebody and they say, "Oh, just don't worry about it. Just don't think about it. It'll be better tomorrow." Well, the reality is it's not better tomorrow. The reality is you're in the muckety muck of stuff. So you want to find somebody that's supportive, somebody that can listen to you, maybe a group or something like that you can talk to, that you can confide in. They get what you're going through, because we have to acknowledge how we feel, right? I'm not saying we have to live in the pity party, but we have to acknowledge how we feel so that we can move forward. And so we can move forward in a very positive way. So find supportive people that can really be uplifting to you, that can move you through some of those challenging times that you're having. Set boundaries on your grieving. Set a timer, okay? So what I think that I mean by this is, like, we do have to set boundaries for ourselves. We do have to say, okay, you know what? I feel like crap. And today I'm going to feel like crap. I'm going to sit home. I'm going to watch Hallmark movies and I'm just going to get through today. But tomorrow I'm going to get up and I'm going to take a shower. I'm going to go out, meet some friends. I'm going to go do something, and I'm going to make that happen. So you have to allow yourself to be able to feel what you need to feel and to move through what you need to do. If you need to listen to sad music, if you need to live uplifting music, do what you need to do to be able to get you through that next day. But tell yourself, okay, I'm going to feel this now, but after this, bam, I'm going to move on. I'm going to get up, move on, change the scenery, change the environment, and I'm going to step forward in my life. I allowed myself to meditate, to do what I needed to do, and now I'm going to move forward. And I think that is such an important thing. We don't realize that we do need to be able to kind of live in that moment to be able to step forward. So what we're going to do is going to take a quick break. I've got a whole bunch more tips for you, so I hope that you'll stick around. Hey, Johnny, it's nice to see you. Sorry, I was looking at my notes. I don't always see everybody that's coming. It's nice to see you. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to take a real quick break, so like a minute long. I'm going to show you something that's new and happening to us, and so we hope you'll stick right with us. So I've got to figure out how to do this because I'm getting better at this. Hello there. Okay, I'm getting a little bit better at it. So I hope you guys are hanging with me. Thank you. Very good. Thank you. Thank you. So what you saw on the little screen that we had there, we have a site. It's called Going Solo Network, which shows everything that we have. And Going Solo Media is part of that. But we have where you can join a group there if you want. We send you our publications that we have out. We're going to start making sure that we do our talker. And also we have a newspaper, Going Solo newspaper that we do, and we're going to be doing a magazine. And so we charge, it's very inexpensive. It's less than $5 for the year. So you can join that. We'll give you all of the publications. So we hope that you'll enjoy that. So just go to goingsolonetwork.com and you can join that. We've got a couple really great sites out now, and you'll see those on the Going Solo Network. If you hit me up on Messenger, I'll give you a code you can get in for free, and we're giving away a lifetime membership. So for a certain period of time. So it's new, so we want you guys to join us. So if you're interested in that, we've got a new dating site called Dating Next Step. And that is a transition into dating site, helping you through some of the situations and problems that we kind of come across when we're starting out dating. And then also we have when you're ready and you know what you want, we got Date the Right One. And so both of those, we're going to make it available to our good friends that contact us and contact me. And I will give you a code, and you can go in and you can be our testers, and you can be a lifetime member of that, however long you want to be. And then with that, we're also going to have some other things that are going to be happening, and we're going to give you all of that. So we want to make sure that you, especially those that are supporting us, that have supported us all the years, we want to make sure that you get all of that information and that you get it for free. So after that, it will be a paying site, and everyone will need to pay for that. But in the meantime, let's get on back to what we're talking about. And I think that that's very, very important. So we're talking about midlife crisis. We go through times in our lives where we really have struggles. And as I had said before in the prior time of the show, that it seems like over 50s are getting divorce, and they're going through a crisis in their lives. They're going through a time in their lives where they're not quite sure what they're going to do, and they feel lost. And if you're feeling like that, you're feeling lost, or a relationship is starting to go south and you're feeling lost, the thing is, you got to focus on you. You can't focus on the other person. You can't focus on what they're doing, how they're feeling, what they're going through. All you can have control of is you, right? And being the best person that you can be, and being the most loving person, the most happy person, the most solid person. That's going to bring maybe your spouse around, or it'll bring your potential partner around, or it will enlighten you to the point where when you want to start dating, you're going to attract those kind of individuals to you, the ones that are ready to date, the ones that have done work on themselves. That's why it's so valuable to be able to focus on yourself. And it's not being selfish. It's really starting to understand who you are, because as we move forward in our lives continue to shift. Things that of interest start to shift. Different different values, our core values stay the same, but we have different interests and different things that are important to us, right? And things that happen within our lives, within our bodies, things start happening. So there's so many different shifts that are happening in our midlife. And so I think this is what causes some of the problems. But let's get back. I made a list. I want to try to share them with you. And I only got maybe like 10 more minutes. So we're going to go very, very quickly to those. Okay, we talked about this. Give yourself a wallow weekend. I think that's great. Sometimes I do that. I just sit on the sofa and I watch my Hallmark movies, and I do a little art or something like that, or whatever, and I kind of enjoy it. Or, I just talk to a friend. Sometimes I give them a call and tell them, what I'm feeling, and they're, oddly enough, are kind of feeling that kind of thing too. So sometimes we have that relatability, right? Sometimes we have that where we can really share that with other people. That's why you want to connect with people that are supportive to you, those that you can tell anything to, and they don't make a judgment, but they're there for you to listen and to be able to encourage you to be able to move forward. And they may make a suggestion here and there of what might be able to help you. One thing I find with regards to midlife is like we sometimes feel we don't have a place to belong. And when we're going through a relationship loss, a job loss, or even the shift in retirement, right? All of those kind of things that start happening to us, we find ourselves that we don't have a place to belong. The kids are off to school, or they're starting to make their own lives, And I even have that myself. Sometimes I sit back and I think, the biggest, my mother used to say, the biggest gift you can give your children is independence, right? So they will grow up and be independent and live a life that's full and happy, and that they can have their children and they can share that. But then when it happens, you're going, oh my gosh, they don't have time for me. They're not calling me. They're not this and that. And I feel so, lost. And so that's when we have to start feeling like we start finding a place for ourselves. We have to start being inspired. And so I think listening to videos like what we have here on the Going Solo Media Network is tremendous. People give up their time. These people, let me tell you something. The people that we have on all our wonderful hosts that are on our station, they don't get paid. They do it for free. Why? Because they want to give back to someone else, because they have been where you've been. And so they realize that by helping other people, they can in turn, feel good within themselves. And so that is going to be probably our last one. I probably stepped up. Great music. Oh my gosh. When you listen to music, I don't know what kind of music you like, but if you listen to music, it will uplift you. It will move you into another arena. You want to listen and groove and dance, get up and dance and sing and have a great time, but you will be inspired when that happens to you. So great music. And I just can't imagine never not having music in our lives. I mean, that's so very, very important. A place to serve. And then the last one, I'm going to kind of combine those together. A purpose bigger than yourself. And that's what I meant about having a place to belong. When you can find a place to serve, step out of yourself and help other people. If you can find a purpose bigger than yourself, and I feel like I pretty much did that in my life. I focused on helping singles to be able to move forward because I knew how difficult, because I've been there, I've done it. I've been in the muckety muck of stuff, right? And I know how difficult it is, but I know how joyful it can be on the other side, how wonderful it can be to connect to terrific people, how to be able to move forward and have a sense of purpose. And so what I'm going to ask you is look within and see what you can do. Can you do something in your church? Can you do something with children? Can you do something, with other people, helping them get together and move forward? The whole thing is connecting with other people. When we feel lost and alone, it's because that's what we are, right? But when we can start having that center around us, we can start building a life for ourselves. We can start kind of paving out where we want to be, who we want to be. It's just a wonderful, absolutely wonderful thing. And so these are steps that you have to take, and we can help you with those steps. On our sites, we have coaches and mentors that can help you go through that. We have therapists that are on our site. If you're not seeing a therapist, see a therapist. Don't hesitate seeing a therapist. We have coaches that are just wonderful. Let those around you that have been there know what you feel and help you move forward in your life. Really connect with those, and then make friends. We so focus on, oh, I want to get a relationship, I want a partner in my life, I want all this stuff. You know what? Sometimes just making great friends that you can call up, and say, hey, I'm having a pity party, I'm having a bad day, and they get you, and they don't think anything of it, and they talk you through it. They share with you, they share with them the day that they had. Then you start talking about what you'd like to have. Maybe you'd like to talk about what you'd like to have in the future. You start opening those doors of building a world, a new life for yourself. And that's what going forward is, right? That's what moving forward in your life is. So I'm going to ask you today, before I close, I'm going to ask you to do something. I'm going to ask you to have a moment of choice, do a movement of choice. We often talked about this in the divorce group, but my mother used to say, you are where you are because that's where you choose to be. So I'm going to ask you that if you're not happy with your life, you're not happy with things that are happening within your life, around your life, or whatever, tackle the things that you can make a change, that you can create a shift. And so often, if we want to change in our lives, we have to start shifting, right? We have to start doing the movement. We have to start making a choice that we want to something better, something totally great. And so we start putting a plan together. And so we're not going to do that if we don't start taking those baby steps. So that's what I'm going to ask you to do. I'm going to ask for you to take a piece of paper. Anybody that has been in any of my groups or anything like that, I have paper all around, right? So you take a piece of paper, and I want you to start writing down what you would like to see in your life, in maybe a couple months' time. What would you like to do? I'd like to feel better. I'd like to be able to get up in the morning and not feel like crap. That's simple. I would like to do that. That's what I want to shoot for. Then on the other side of that, make three things. Don't make it hard on yourself. Take three things that you'd like to make a shift in. And then on each one of those things, write down a couple things that you could do that would make that happen, right? So maybe something new that you could do that would make that happen. So I don't want to feel like in the morning. So what could I do? Maybe I could get up and take a walk around the block, right? Get myself moving, right? While I'm taking a walk around the block, I can listen to some positive music, right? Or I can listen to some positive shows on YouTube. I can do whatever. So just take three things and then make three things on the other side for each thing that you can do that would make that happen. If you would do that, then you have created movement in your life. You've created a positive change. And so that's what you want to be able to move forward. The crisis that we are feeling now throughout, this experience here with COVID and all of that, we're going through the holiday time. It's really going to be tough on a lot of people, but we can make a choice to make it better for ourselves. And by making it better for ourselves, we can make it better for all of those around us. So let's start with ourselves, with what we can control. So that is all I've got to say on the subject. And until next time. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I really do appreciate you very, very much. I want to share with you, we do have a couple sponsors. We've got Questfine Jewelers. Their phone number is 877-860-0829. And they're at 8431 Lee Highway, Fairfax, Virginia. Their website is questjewelers.com. And then we also have a great tech company that has supported our Going Solo network. That's Nationwide IT Services, NIS. Their phone number is 703-750-0453. And their email is at business@nw-its.com. And they are right there at 4025 Fair Ridge Drive, Suite 300, Fairfax, Virginia. We want to thank them so much for supporting us, supporting our shows here, and we do appreciate that. I hope you guys again will check out Going Solo Network. .com and check that out. If you want the publications, it's like $4 or less than $5 a year. And so you just sign up for that and we'll make sure that we have your email and everything, and we'll get all of that out to you. I hope you enjoy all of the shows that we have. If you're interested in any of the other sites, you just click on their pictures and that'll take you right to the link of them. But the two sites that we have that we just started, the dating sites, I hope that you'll contact me and I'll give you a code to get in free. And we want you to be able to do that. All we're asking in return is that you tell us what you like, what you don't like, what works, what doesn't work, and help us improve the site for others. And we'll give you a lifetime membership. So just email me at goingsolonetwork@gmail.com or hit me up on Facebook on the Messenger or contact me somewhere, wherever I am, and we'll make sure you get that code. It's only for a limited time, so you'll need to catch it within that parameter. We haven't even started getting the news out on these new sites, but we want to make sure that you can get on them if you like. I hope you guys enjoyed this show. I felt it was important because I know a lot of people are going through midlife and they're really trying to search for something. They're trying to figure out where their life is going to be. And I will tell you, it is great I think being single. I think once you understand yourself, you embody the life that you have, you embody who you are, you enjoy the life that you have. And so being single is not terrible, but I would love to see, and even myself with a wonderful partner. And I do feel that if we better ourselves, we more in tune with ourselves, we understand our core values and what our worth is, and we raise that vibration level, the right person will come into our lives and they'll step forward and we'll be able to connect. And I hope that all happens to you. But meantime, I hope you catch all these shows. We love being here with you. Again, I am Cece Schatz. I'm the doyen of relationship building. You can catch me on any social media. Just go for CC Schatz. That's where I am. And our station is WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network. We're radio, TV, and podcast station. We are live streaming TV, live streaming radio 24/7. Just go to our website, goingsolomedia.com. And we are the #1 internet singles talk network. Love you so much. And I just can't wait to see you again. I hope you join me. We got a show coming up, 8 o'clock with Paul, and it's the Veterans Corner. It's one of my favorites. Of course, I love all the shows, and but that's very nice. We're going to have a gentleman who's from World War II, and I'm just looking forward to meeting him myself. And so that's coming up right after me. So stick around here on the stations. Then we're going to have to, after that, I'm coming right back, and I'm going to talk about passion. What about passion? You know, women can be crazy with passion. And I'm going to tell you the 13 things about passionate women. And so that's going to be very interesting. And then after that, we're going to have Arnie, and he has a great show, Health, Love, and Life Show, Arnie Fonseca Jr. I love him. He's got great information. So a lot here for you. I hope you'll stick with us. This is Cece signing off. Till next time. Love you guys. Bye.